Hi, my name is Ali Terracino, and I'm currently interning at the Center for Service and Social Justice. And today I have here with me Jack Garvey, a University of Scranton alum of class of 2020, and he is here to talk with us today about how and what made him decide to commit to a year of service at the Jesuit Volunteer Corps. So thank you so much for agreeing to talk with us, and we're very excited to learn all about it.
Thanks for having me.
So what made you decide to commit to a year of service?
So I worked for the Center for Service at Scranton for 3 years, and that working there and being Jesuit educated for 4 years, it taught me that we kind of have the responsibility to reach out to the marginalized people of our community and our country and the world, make sure that they feel valued and part of a community, because there are so many people who are so deserving of love and community, which is something that we're really big on at Scranton. But I feel that they don't have it because for whatever reason, they live in a community that doesn't do that for them. So, it's nice to do that for people. And Jesuit education rocks in that way.
So tell us a bit about your placement for the year. So like where you're located, what your project is, and like what you've been doing.
So I've been placed at the Cristo Rey Boston High School, and the Cristo Rey model, they attract students who live in low-income who live with low-income families, and so that way we give them kind of like a college prep education, where 4 days out of the week they go to school, they have classes, but then one day a week, they go to their corporate work study jobs. So that way they're getting like real world experience along with getting an education. Their whole thing is, a lot of high schools say we're preparing them for college. What Cristo Rey does, it gives them not only a great education, but it prepares them for college and for the real world, so they can, manage their time better and balance school and work and, life in general. So my job specifically at Cristo Rey is a teacher aide. I've been assigned to an English teacher. So I'm working with him with sophomores and juniors. So my job is to really help him as much as possible, along with any other sophomore and junior teachers, whether it's subbing, proctoring. Eventually I'll be tutoring and being a mentor for a couple students. And, if things get better in the spring, I might be the Frisbee coach. I'm trying to start a team here. Did that at Scranton. But I'm loving it so far. I'm really enjoying working at Cristo Rey because everyone's really supportive of, teachers and faculty and especially the students.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's really cool too. And hopefully things do open and go back to normal so you can start the Frisbee team because
Yeah, that's a big fingers crossed.
What have you found to be the most challenging part as well as the most rewarding part so far?
So we're kind of in a unique position because of the pandemic. So a huge challenge for me. I love seeing people smile and saying hello to people. So being in a situation where we have to wear masks all the time and try our best to social distance, especially in the classroom, it's tough to connect with students. And that's a huge part of my role, especially when it comes to tutoring. So that's been tough to get to know names and get to know personalities just because I can't really interact with a lot of students. And right now, Cristo Rey is doing a hybrid model. So students can opt in or out of in-person learning. And I'd say we're averaging like 50 something students per day in the building. So some days, like a couple of our classes might have 3 students in person and everyone else remote. So there's a ton of students who I haven't met yet because they're remote.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. But part of my role, like I said, is helping out students. So a couple times this has happened where whether the student's remote or in person, I've been, going back and forth on our messaging board, Microsoft Teams, helping them like sign up for all these virtual classroom learning websites. And sometimes it takes a long time because a lot of students don't have access to, good internet, or, everyone has a different situation going on at home.
Yeah.
So when they do get it right and they finally get it, like one student, she messaged me back one time and she was like, "Hey, Mr. Garvey, I'm sorry it took so long, and I'm sorry I turned in the assignment so late, but I really appreciate your help, and you just might be one of those teachers that I end up really liking." And I was like, "Great!" And I just all that interaction was like me messaging the student back and forth for like an hour,
Okay.
but that was like a small victory.
Yeah.
And if I can get enough small victories, then with students, then that builds up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, it's definitely challenging, especially because you never know like what other people's situations really are and how much they are impacting their lives and how much they entail. But it, like you said, it's the small victories that's what makes
yeah,
things better, and it makes the world go round, and it makes you feel good even though it's small.
exactly. Yes. Gotta we have if I've learned anything in the past 6-7 months,
Mhm.
we have to delight in the small victories because you know pandemic is not fun, so
No.
we gotta learn to celebrate the small wins.
Yes, because nothing is too small to make bigger or greater of it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
my last question is, what would you tell other people or other students who are considering joining like JVC or doing like what you are doing?
Hmm. Well, I love service.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I didn't want to get a job right out of college,
Okay.
but I know that I love doing service. So I looked at a couple different um, post grad service programs, and JVC really stood out because of one of the four core values. It's simple living, spirituality, community, and social justice.
Mm-hmm.
The one that stood out the most was community because at Scranton, you know, a lot of schools will, when you ask like, "Oh, why do you love your school?" The
Yeah.
sports program is awesome, or our academic program is so great. Scranton has great academic program, and we have good sports teams too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the thing that people love the most is the community that is built in your 4 years at Scranton.
Yeah.
So I really love the idea of coming home from my job, um, doing service, and then being able to share that with five of my roommates here who are also in social services. We're all serving marginalized people, so we have that in common.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we're all from different parts of the country.
Oh,
I'm from Jersey. There's housemates from Oregon, Texas, California, Chicago, Cleveland. Like, it's really cool that we're all from different places, but we all have similar values. Um, I would say, if someone's really considering JVC, they really have to be willing to kind of give themselves to essentially two jobs: their placement site
mm-hmm.
and community,
Okay.
because you're really going to get out what you put in. So if you open yourself up and dive into it, it's going to work out. And so far, it's worked out for me. And plus, being a Jesuit volunteer, you have to lean into uncomfortable conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with all the civil unrest based on the George Floyd and Breonna Taylor murders.
Mm-hmm.
We have to lean into the conversations about race, um, and I think that's been really eye opening and really great for everyone in our JVC community.
Oh,
So you have to be willing to talk about things that are tough, but
yeah.
in the end, you're a better person because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for talking with us, and this like was very eye-opening, and because I did not know much about JVC prior, so you really opened my eyes to it, and I think it's very interesting, and it's honestly amazing that what you're doing, because people like you need to help, because there's other people that just want to go and make money and do whatever, but like we need people that want to just help other people and make everyone's lives as good as they can be. And that's what it seems like you're doing for the kids you're teaching right now.
Trying my best.